What's up, people? Welcome to the Brian Reveal Show. First show of 2022. Yeah, I know I'm late. I'm late. But I told y'all I was going on hiatus for a particular reason. I'm excited to be back. I really am. And tonight's conversation, which we're going to get into in just a second, it's called The Wealth Machine. And I'll tell you about a little bit of the mindset that I have behind it and everything like that, when we get to that point. But wow, it's Black History Month. And I gotta say, I wish I would see a little bit more Black History Month, less Kanye, because we've done the damn thing, right? We've done the damn thing. We've really just risen from all different kinds of oppression and objectivity and all different kinds of things that we struggle with as a community. But you know what? This generation, this group of people right now that's really starting to make moves and starting to buy real estate and actually starting to move a little bit more up the ladder when it comes to wealth, we're doing it. We are doing it. So tonight is really about a celebration with that. I'm so happy that everybody decided to come out, holler at your boy, be a part of this conversation. But before we get into it, y'all, I want to show you something. I want to show you something, and hopefully it'll resonate with you.
Yeah, we back. Yeah,
The GP will see you now.
look, free to return to that emo rap. Ain't no kilo stash. Augusta's son had to reload that. Daddy gone, but his legacy strong. How do you figure? I too thought I'd be dead, all things considered, but I'm living, thriving and growing, fighting opponents that I'm with it. Striving to know who died for the lowest, don't you get it? The industry hope is trying to control us, I ain't with it. I got me a goal that's highly explosive with my wife and my baby. What I'm writing is weighty. Call me Esso or Bebenberg, they knighting me lately. Stand where the light is, feeling lighted, delighted, and maybe I'm getting grown. Nothing wrong with Bible and Bailey's. I open up the text, got my mind closer off the edge.
Who is Brian Reveals? It's me on steroids. you know, I was talking to a buddy of mine recently, and we were having conversations. Typical things that guys talk about. But it was about some content that was on social media, and it was about my perspective, which was raw, uncut, and funny. But the purpose of my point in the entire conversation was just to get to the bottom of it and get to the truth, right? Even if it's disruptive and even if it's uncomfortable. I'll make you laugh, but I like to get to the truth, and that's what Brian Reveals is. For me, it's about the money, right? I think a lot of people have great ideas, but for me, some people say, "Oh, cash isn't a great solution. We're just gonna go blow it, and you're gonna buy Cadillacs and hot links and wings and all kinds of shit." But you know,
Stop that. Stop that.
Now that things are open again, well, shutting down again. I mean, you just got to be creative. It can be challenging, but it's not like
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I can tell you from my perspective, and fellas, if I'm going to speak to you as a single man, and if I'm speaking on your behalf, if you like to fuck, this shit is whack. It's horrible.
Okay.
I'm literally like I'm almost about to start crying.
You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls never tell me I'm awesome, yeah.
Who is my audience? Well, I can tell you, if you've never been put in Facebook jail, you're not my audience. I can tell you that right now, you're not my audience. No, my audience is anyone who's willing to come to the table with solutions. You know, too often people come to the table with nothing but questions. Nothing but questions and nothing but problems. And the thing that separates the Brian McVeal Show from many platforms is we get to the truth. We look for the truth. We reveal the truth. That's what it's about. What does that number look like? I'd say about a good 300,000 a person. I say that. Absolutely. I think that's because we're going to blow a third of it.
I think it's a higher number than that.
Okay. Well, hey, it could be 1 million. I'm good with that too.
Some of the numbers that I've seen, thrown around by scholars in terms of what it would really cost to pay reparations to Black people is I've seen as low as 10 trillion, as high as 50 trillion. So
my most favorite topics. Okay. Sex. Who doesn't want to talk about sex, right? Also, I'd say relationships. Relationships are a really big part of our interactions with other people, right? Whether it's family, friends, or what have you. Money, religion, philosophy as a whole, right? It's a topic I can certainly get lost in. And I'd also say, in terms of sexuality as well, just as an extended component of sex. I think too often sometimes we look at sex and not really look at sexuality. And being a man, especially being a Black man, and speaking about sexuality in such an open, dynamic way is what the world needs. So, because when you have sex the first time, you get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's an audition.
And so, to that point, you're right. And to that point, I have a girlfriend that she fancies the faster sex relations, which is absolutely fine. She dated a guy and she decided that, hey, we're gonna wait a couple months before we have sex, right? She had sex with him. He was a minute man, small, and she was pissed because she was like, I done wasted 3 damn months of my life.
Wow.
Wait, and I was like, damn, you do have a point. Like, so I see it from both ends. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily wait 3 months to check out what was going on, but meaning like looking at some print, gray sweatpants season. I mean,
Black women file for divorce more. I put 80%. This up. See, when I tell you I put this on my page and everybody thought I was lying. Oh, you're just trolling.
It's true.
But do I fucking troll? I'm telling you the truth. It is the truth. Be mad at the fucking truth. Don't be mad at me.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, aren't you? Aren't you afraid of the truth? I mean, think about what the truth does. It puts you in a hot seat, it makes you uncomfortable. And depending on what you reveal, or depending on if you're exposed or not, the truth can really lift a lot of heavy weight off of you, It can really liberate you in some cases. And I think that some people are afraid of liberation. They don't know what to do next. That's why you watch the show.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, You better move, you might get knocked out, You better move, you
knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep.
That was it, people. You guys saw my stream reel, right? It is being used for something. I'm not telling y'all shit. You'll get the word when the world gets the world. And when I say the world, I mean the bigger world in social media. So I'm happy and excited about that. You saw it here first. I didn't do guess what's coming. No, y'all will see. You will see when it is time for you to see the shit you need to see. So thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, and I appreciate it all, really. Tonight, the title of this entire show, right, that we're doing tonight is about wealth. And I'm gonna call this the Wealth Machine Show. Because I did a show before, right? You also the show on Money Matters. Go check that out on YouTube. That's available. Type in the Brian Reveal Show to go find it. But here's the thing. A lot of us are really having these conversations about wealth as if we can push, just pull it out of our ass. We can go to our back pocket and get it. We can go ask our mama for it. None of that exists in these spaces. None of it. And in order for you to be a part of that dynamic and that reality, you got to be a part of that machine. The machine is going to give you the momentum, the drive, and it's going to continue to turn and turn and turn and turn and turn. And the next thing you know, this is your whole entire world. And if you can't handle that, you will be crushed by the machine. To help us navigate what that is like, to help us navigate how we can come in and be a part of this machine, tonight we have Dr. O. Dr. O, the spiritual wealth strategist in the building. How you doing, Dr. O?
I am phenomenal.
Nice.
Thank you for your energy and bravery and courage to tell the truth in a society that is extremely hypersensitive and very much so lied to. And so I always tell people it's not the truth that's the problem. It's all the lies you believed along the way that really start cutting away at you. The truth is a beautiful, wonderful thing. But if you've been lied to, bamboozled, or you haven't been emotionally sound, or there's any fluctuation in your behavioral, habitual problems, then the truth can feel like not only a knife, but it can feel like rapid succession. So it's not
Absolutely
comfortable. So thank you for being uncomfortable. I appreciate you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we're going to have some fun tonight,
Yes.
but we also are going to teach the masses, because that's one thing that I really think that we could do in a healthy sort of curated space, is to kind of, get together. We share information and we share bullshit, but in a fun way, right? In a fun way, in a very unorthodox way, but in a way that's really going to elevate us, right? Because we all grown. We can sit and have a couple of laughs or two and be able to be fed on a spiritual basis and on a factual information basis. So, Dr. O,
What's up?
tell everybody about us, right? You not only do you have quite the resume, but I do think that you have probably the most important honorable position, being a mother. So outside of being a mom, tell everybody about you, right? Tell everybody about the different stages that you've been on, the different journeys that you've been through, and the different career changes, and how it led you to where you are today.
Yeah, thank you. So actually, I am at home right here with the Brian Reveal Show because media is my background. It's a thing that I pride myself in. I was selected to be one of the first cast members on The Flavor of Love, and I decided, no. But I still love and honor VH1 for the opportunity. And I went on to do a show with Ryan Seacrest called Mama's Boys on NBC. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, this is different. We were 2 doors down from Oprah Winfrey's house. We were in, the, what do you call it? The thick of things, if you will, in the full throttle role of, I got to see my producer skills, more than my on talent skills. My on camera talent skills are cool. And I'm appreciative that God gave me the gift of gab and blah, 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 and all this energy. But I am a producer. And so my background comes in the media light of producing and production. Marketing and media has just been a very natural home for me because I'm not as big on communication as I am on comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of psychology goes into marketing. A lot of psychology goes into the movement of what marketing does. Can you imagine getting a message across in 15 seconds that people come out of their pocket and give you money?
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
so when we think about that, in the world of even dating or relationships, if someone doesn't come out of their pocket in reference to their heart, their trust, their love, their finances, their, what we call their non-negotiables, and they don't come out of their pocket, that's not real, right? It's not a good relationship. So I said that to say that we think, oh, we're taking money and giving it to McDonald's, or we're taking money and giving it to Coca-Cola because I saw this advertisement. Now I'm craving a burger, or whatever the case may be. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is they're pulling on your heartstrings and they're pulling on the psychology of how you think and your habits, your normal habits. I can't be enticed by smoking and drinking because I've never smoked or drank in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But what those people will try to do for somebody like me is like, they know I'm not going to be attracted to smoking and drinking, but I may be attracted to the financial investments of what that return will be because other people smoke and drink. So I will invest in marijuana, right? I will invest in a nightclub or something like that because I understand the psychology that others do that. Just because I don't partake doesn't mean that I'm not going to benefit from it in some kind of way or speak out against it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that to say, I love the psychology. I got all A's in psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was it for me. Like, that's what the marketing and media led me to. Like, gosh, we can convince and sway a whole bunch of people in 2 seconds or 15 seconds or 30-second commercial, or like your 8-minute reel. This is who I am. This is what I do. So now I get to speak my truth.
Absolutely.
Right? And that is where I come from. So the media background take me through working with TLC, working with, Grand Hustle, working in that environment and meeting so many celebrities and stars and people. I started to see the Underground Railroad, right? So I'm on my Harriet Tubman stuff. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
So we have all these people, but even our brother Spike Lee was trying to get a huge project off, something very important to the Black community, right? That was Malcolm X. But if he didn't have the financing, then how would he get this amazing story out? And so it was the financial sector that I was brought to, being a producer and working. We had a television show called My Parents, My Sister, and Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a part of the founding principles of the investor relations department, aka creating other producers.
Right.
Go get the money, because without this, we can have Jasmine Guy, we had Bentley Kyle, who did the Martin Lawrence show and so many other shows, but if we don't have the finances rolling in, how are we going to make this work? And so as I took that and I ran with it in my mind and even produced my own films and stuff, I had 111 cast members and people working for me. It was like, so what? What does all that matter if you can't pay the people, if you can't finance the dream? So I started a nonprofit organization back then, and I started hiring students because I knew that they were pulling on the heartstrings of their parents' pockets. But if I could give them something to do and the government or the state can pay them, that they could work on this film. So on the film that I was working on, I started using media to bring you to speed. I started using media to get into the financial sector, right? That was my way in. So I knew I could get in that way. I was homeless the entire time I was doing this, right? So for 3 years, I'm taking baths in restrooms of gas stations in the sink. This is how I'm cleaning myself.
Right.
I am excited to go to a casting call to get the position just so I could eat. You guys saw Star Quality and hired me for national commercials. I wanted food and warmth because I was tired of sleeping in my car using the restroom on the side of the road. Okay.
I get you.
So I said that to say that no matter, I mean, you're talking about, working with, riding the bus from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way to South Dakota to be a cast member to try out for America's Next Top Model. Like you're talking about like not eating for weeks, right? eating crackers from Wendy's. Be like, oh, y'all forgot to give me my crackers and my chili that I didn't buy.
Mm.
That's how I was eating. And so
Wow.
I was like, Lord, do I
That-
really want this? Is this, hold on, is there, let's just, come. Like, let's
Exactly.
sit down. Let's
Yeah.
have a conversation. So I was like, it's something about this financial sector. And so back to Spike Lee, getting people to help and see your power and fund your dream. Thank God people started to come out of their pocket financially so he could get that movie off, got it off. Here we go. Right. So I'm just saying that no matter your name, I could name drop all day. I've worked with the best of them. I've been on stage with the best of them. However, it was a matter of, but they're great. But if they don't have the financial engine behind them, even their greatness will be stifled. So I started to understand that money, power, and I call them together. They're a set of twins, right? Money, power. They're interesting dynamic. And so I said all that to say my journey from going into the media and understanding the financial engine was like, cut the crap, Dr. O, just get to the bag.
Absolutely.
So now I am in the financial sectors and the economic part of that. I just use my gifts and talents of media to push that narrative. However, my secret sauce, if you will, is to make sure that people are financially literate and actually using that financial literacy to better their lives.
Wow, that's very powerful. Very, very powerful story. So and definitely thank you for sharing that. So let's get into tonight's topic. One of the things that really resonates with me with wealth is, number one, who don't want to be in this club? This is and everybody wants to be in an exclusive club. This is probably the premier best place because you get the champagne bottles, you get that big homes, you get the fancy cars, you get the girls, you get the men in some cases for the ladies or whatever you're into. But I gotta say this: just the allure of love, of wealth, and all the different things that it could bring you, such as love, such as security, such as power and influence. It is a very, in my opinion, it definitely seems to be something that's not a turnoff, right? It's most people are not afraid to have it. So that creates this safety net for it, meaning that since everybody's not allowed in this club, is this something that's only aspirational, which means no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, the blood, the sweat, the tears, no matter how much you put into it, you're never going to be able to get in. You're never going to be able to get into this club because it's nasty, and all the different things that people don't see are what's keeping people out of it. So in my mind, is wealth really a privilege, or is it just aspirational? How would you answer that question?
I absolutely love the way you exegeted that. So there's a difference between wealth and riches.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I don't knock riches, but I will say you are definitely going to be in a world of temptation and a world of deflection from what wealth is. So both of them deal in abundance. It's like you have two beautiful women, or you've got two amazing basketball teams, and your heart is with the Warriors or whatever. But LeBron's killing it over here, right? So it's like, I love the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole team, but I like LeBron. So I'm kind of like, if you can say, I'm a little cheating. I'm cheating a little bit, right?
Right.
And so I believe a lot of people cheat on wealth with riches. I believe a lot of people cheat on wealth with power. I believe they start to separate these things. And now it's like, I got Sarah and I got Karen.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is it that Karen has that Sarah's missing that you have to have two? And I'm not knocking anybody, but I'm just saying that when your mind starts to do the either or, you have a true issue for deception. But when you start saying both and, now you're starting to understand that not only am I in harmony with myself, I'm also in harmony. So I think people are disharmonic when it comes to wealth because they don't understand that you're not taking anything with you when this body decomposes. It's just not going to happen. To me, your afterlife is wealth. Your current life is the riches and the enrichment of living, knowing that there's an afterlife. That afterlife doesn't have to be esoteric as what we learned, from the Bible days. That afterlife doesn't have to be as esoteric as any other religion. Without religion being involved, and I am a minister, but without religion being involved, this body is definitely going to decompose. And I know that because when I wake up, I'm 43 years old, I'm achy a little bit. So it's already starting to happen, right? And so I said that to say wealth extends itself beyond your life. And when you don't understand that, you will be popping bottles. What did Jay-Z say in his song? Whether you like him or not, what's better than popping bottles or, making it rain? Credit.
Credit.
And so it's like, no matter what you say, these billionaires didn't get there because they popped bottles. While that was probably fun and a part of that lifestyle, they got there because they knew that when they passed away, there would have to be things in motion while they're not here. And so I just say to people, there is an ambitious aspect of obtaining wealth. There is an ambitious aspect of you're not secretly saying in your mind, God, please help me be more poor. You're just not saying, you know what, Lord, I would really appreciate it, Father God, that, if you could make sure that I have no money and I have no access to funds and I don't have any opportunities, that God, that would make me have a better life. You're not doing that.
But isn't that what people say? People say that it is difficult for a rich man to get into the heaven than a camel to get through the eye of the needle. So there's a conditioning there that's keeping people out of it.
That's exactly what is happening. And then people say, well, money's not everything.
Right.
Okay. Money's not everything. You're at home. You have no gas, no car, no husband, no spouse, no family, no food, no gas, no water, no anything. But you're saying out of your mouth, money's not everything. What you're doing is you're canceling out the possibilities of your riches, enrichment, and your wealth by saying money is not everything. So what you can say is that money is an aspect of things that are going to help me get what I need. And so you're absolutely correct, Brian. There is a conditioning that poverty is okay. And so we're here to unlearn poverty. Hashtag unlearn poverty. Put that in the comments. Look, now I'm in my webinar phase. Put that in the comments. Unlearn poverty. So
Absolutely.
I love that you said that sometimes it is just an ambition. Sometimes you can become complacent even after obtaining 6 figures, 7 figures. And I've done multiple both. You can become complacent. You can be like, well, I done met with Oprah, what else is there? I've done this, I've done that. Well, you know what's greater than meeting with Oprah? Doing what God told you to do while you were here on the earth. Even if that's feeding the birds, even if that's dropping elderly off at their appointments. That is your Oprah-dom. That may be your domain. Maybe you're not comparable to a Bill Gates. Maybe you're not going to be comparable to an Elon Musk. Maybe you're the person that because you're in that community is not getting bombed. So I said
Absolutely.
that to say that it can be an ambition and you can get stuck. And a lot of people will get stuck. And so people like yourself, myself, media, people that come out here and speak the truth and don't mind taking the knives and daggers, because I know you get them coming to you. We're the people that wake you up to understand that we're here to activate your wealth DNA. You do have a wealth code that is naturally inside of you, and only you know the code. And if that code changes, you'll always know the code. And if you happen to give it to somebody else, and we have, and they rob you, and they will, and they drain you, they will, you'll get a new code, and only you know that code. And so if you are being ambitious, but you're not doing the work to maintain it, then yeah, you're going to be in some trouble. So I love the way you package that, because a lot of people will not understand. I have a Rolls Royce. So it needs gas. Let something break on it. See what happens. So what? I have a Bentley. Okay. And then something break. The little Jaguar on my Jaguar fell off and somebody wanted $800 to replace it. That's a mortgage for a Jaguar on a car. That is just an emblem that I can hold in my hand. So we talk about these things, but we don't recognize and realize, when I die, am I going to put in my will, give the little Jaguar to my daughter? So I believe that if we can both and some things and start harmonically putting things together where they're supposed to be, as we do that, I think we'll start to manifest and magnetically pull wealth to us versus the image of wealth.
Wow.
I shop at Goodwill. I will buy Versace from Goodwill if that's the case, and you need to see Versace. Dr. O is not paying for anything that is going to cost her what she could buy an apartment complex for. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to be, for me, everything is, if I put this in options trading, will it yield me the profit to buy that thing? That's it. If my trading doesn't bring it to me, I don't buy it. But that took a process and progress. So I love what you said, and I believe that you are here to shift the dynamic of some things. But go ahead, brother. Man. Do your thing. Do your thing.
I received that. Thank you. Part of that, you know, the mindset and the shift is, in my opinion, about some of the bad habits, the thinking that we brought up, some of the images, and identifying with images that we've never even seen other than on television, that we are connected to, that we feel aspire to be a part of. How do we break those bad habits that we have been born with, and people have told us that, you know, you mentioned the relationship between money and wealth, and, you know, how that works. How do we break those bad habits to get to that mindset to where they can coexist and not be in conflict with each other?
Okay. I absolutely love that. So one way to, a habit is no more than a trait repeating itself. A habit is no more than a memory continuously coming to the front of your mind. So if you sit there and remember that time that your mom beat you for selling your shoes to your friends, and you didn't have any shoes to go to school with, she just spent her hard-earned money, and you remember that beating, but you don't remember the lesson behind you probably shouldn't have done that, then you're not going to break those habits even in your adulthood. There's a lot of relationships as adults that we get in, and we're playing out our childhood. There's a lot of relationships that we get in where we are not having an experience. We're only feeling a certain way. So your feelings are even trumping your experience. So you're in the room with star quality. And you know what a lot of people say? They bleed like I bleed. That is a habit, right? That is a memory formulating in your mind. Bill Gates bleeds like I bleed. Who is he? You know, or whoever, you know, name someone, the superintendent of a school. It doesn't have to be Bill Gates. But the point that I'm making is that when you start disintegrating or degenerating something or someone, you're really degenerating yourself, and you're stopping your own progress. So the best way to break a habit is to be progressive, right? And say to yourself, I know that so-and-so, whatever name you put there, is at this level. I'm not there yet. So being honest. Don't tell me to trust you. Just be trustworthy.
Wow.
So sometimes your habits have to be broken through tough love of self, tough self-love. And you have to say to yourself, damn, I just told a lie. I knew it was a lie when it came off my tongue. Bro, I literally just lied to you. I'm actually used to lying and getting away with it. Let me tell you the truth. And this is why I lied. Confession will break a habit. Number one, confession. Number two, and I'll give you three. Number two is when you recognize that you're being habitual, stop. Even if it's a good habit, Dr. O, stop. Congratulate yourself if it's good. And tell yourself to not do it anymore if it's bad. You know, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to go to social media. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to do, you know, you have something that you do on a regular basis. Stop and check in with yourself. So number two, check in. And last but not least, how you break a habit is you truly want to. There's a lot of people that say what they want, and they say it because it makes them feel that energy. And it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a billionaire by the time I'm 50. I done said it a few times, right? But if I don't start making billionaire decisions, and I don't start operating out of my billionarity, and I don't start doing the things that billionaires do, am I really going to be a billionaire? And even if I did make it there, I'm still bringing my poverty mindset with me, or my millionaire mindset with me into a billionaire status. It's not going to fit. So you have to start to overstand to project where you want to be and start operating out of where you want to be in order to break habits. You're not going to break a habit by doing the doggone habit. You're going to break a habit because you are truly doing a breakthrough and you're doing a 360. That means that you're reviewing yourself. And so that's what I would say, that you can start to break habits. It really, you have to want to. And that's my last point on that one.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just about getting up at 6 a.m.
Well, I get up
That's what
at 3
people
o'clock
say.
in the morning. I'm up at 3:99 a.m. every day.
See, that's what.
Who,
Well,
who's with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm
not
by
me.
myself. I'm by myself most of the time, but no.
Yeah. See, that's a struggle.
marketing thing.
That's a struggle I'm not ready for.
No.
I got,
That's a market thing. I'm up with the markets, and so I'm obviously trading in different markets. It's not Dr. O, but now my system is so used to it. It's a different story. But I used to pray, Lord, please, I want to start getting up at 5. Not because rich people did. I didn't even know rich people got up that early. I mean, I started doing research after. But I said all that to say that when you're able to have alone time, if that's midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. So maybe you're not the morning person, but I believe that the true principle is being able to have alone time without the structure. The Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, when he started teaching and he preached throughout the whole book, right? Like, I'm like, this is a sermon, right?
Right.
And so he needed his quality alone time for the greatness within him. And whatever time that is for you is okay. But you do need to have, the principle is not necessarily waking up early. To me, the principle has been that quality time with greatness. And that's even when you feel like a failure. That's even when you have doubt. That's even when you know that stuff ain't gonna work. You know it ain't gonna work. And you still want to work it. You still need time to process what that is about yourself. That's really what the principle is about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So the other thing is, when I think about how do we get there, you mentioned some brilliant things. For me, I think one of the things that we have not mentioned as of yet is, you and I had a side conversation about this, is intentionality. Relationships are the gateway to wealth. And I will say that opportunities, your talent, luck, all of these things, I think, to me, can be very one-dimensional in that journey to wealth. But what's going to make sure that you get in that door are your relationships. I know for me, where we get these relationships and form them was a little bit of my earlier onset journey. Like, how do I get there, right? Can I get certain people to vet me, certain people to introduce me, certain people to invite me into these spaces where I'm not challenged, right? Who introduced you? Who's this black guy? And, why does he sound like this? And why does he look like, all of these different challenges that will keep me out of these circles. It's almost like getting in co-op in the Upper East Side. You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult. Okay. So unless you know the right people, you're never going to be able to move into, some of these opportunities and some of these spaces. But when you move into these spaces, and certain people will tell you, and this is, I know, and I want you to get a little bit more context in this, because I know you're in real estate. Oh, go be a realtor. Oh, go buy these homes and flip them. Go and get some insurance and get all of these policies and draw off the policies and, crypto. How do you know who to listen to? Because there's a bunch of get rich quick schemes out there. Like, how do you know what relationships are solid and which ones are not, and what's going to get you closer to wealth?
That's dope. First of all, scheme is not a bad word. Manipulation is not a bad word.
Okay.
Getting rich quick, it's not a bad thing. I believe perception and perspective is very important when you're talking about building relationships. If you remind me of my ex, and me and my ex didn't necessarily have a good connection, we had some attachments, and I start seeing that you want to be attached, but you don't want to be connected, you're going to remind me of my ex. Likewise, if I think money is the root to all evil, not the love of money, not even what the scripture says, just what I think, what they said, then I'm probably going to have a bad situation with that thing. So a lot of times when we're growing up in this wealth game, right? And we play the wealth game, right? You did not come to play, you came to win. If you're coming to play, like be a part and participate, you're probably going to get the short end of the stick.
Mm.
If you're coming to play, you're going to listen to anybody. There's a scripture in the Bible, 2 Timothy chapter 3, that says they're silly women and they're always learning, never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Brian, could you imagine always learning and never finding the truth? So these women are being cast away by their own selfish desires and listening to anybody that'll teach them. Anybody. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You've got to start to identify, and a lot of people are in mistaken identity. They might not be battling with sexual issues or addictions or drinking or lying or whatever. They have an identity crisis. They don't know who they are. And when you don't know who you are, you're literally going to be the benefit of everybody because you don't even know who you are. Everybody's going to be able to use you. So these con artists and scam artists are psychologically doing the same thing that Burger King is doing to you. They're getting into your psychology and the way you operate to control the way you operate. And so when you don't have self-control, you can be controlled. And so the best way to start to understand who I should listen to is you need to see yourself in the person. Brian said in the video, and you can even tell by his disposition, if you are not someone that has ended up in Facebook jail, you're not my audience. Why? Because he has ended up in Facebook jail. That identity is basically structuring him into a level of success to be able to be relatable to those who he's here for. They can relate to their audience, what they want to relate to, but he's here for them. And so when you start to get specific, then you will pick who to listen to because you'll know who you are. Oh, I don't identify with that person. I don't even want to listen to them. I don't like the way she smacks when she's talking. So I'm not even going to listen to her. You already know that about yourself. You remember when your mama used to sit there and pop gum before she popped you? You're not going to listen to somebody popping gum when you're an adult because you're going to remember your mama popping gum before she hit you. So it's certain things that you can begin to identify with. And I believe identity has a lot to do with who you should learn from. If you know that you're wild and a wild child and you see somebody, you know, who's studious and contrite and structured, then that probably would be a very good mentor for you because they're going to bring balance to your wild child. You don't change being a wild child. Be blessed in that because that's probably your gift. And your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. So keep that. But do understand that you probably need to structure your creativity and your superhero-dom by having a mentor, somebody that can balance you out. So I would go with my identity, number one. Number two, I will look at the identity of the people that I'm listening to. And number three, I will stop thinking everything is a scam. I will stop believing that they're here to rob me. And the best way to find out if somebody's here to con you, put them to work. Make them do something. The more people hit me up all the time, Dr. O, I got this opportunity. Dr. O, like little crackheads. Like, listen, chill. Chill. Send me the proof of 12 months. Send me the proof of 45 days and how it worked for you. Be my protection. Go do it for yourself. I want to see the highs and the lows. I don't mind sending money away from me. I'm an investor. That's all I do. I have no other form of income besides investments. So I don't mind sending money away from me. I'm a risk taker. I trade options. That's the riskiest thing you can do with your whole life, right? So I don't mind taking a risk, but what you need to do for me is we don't trust, we verify. Show me verification of the failures. If you have negative $4 bazillion in your bank account, show me how you got there and I'll probably loan you $1 million, right? Because I see how you got there. Oh, all you need to do is da-da-da-da-da, and I can begin to formulate. I'm a wealth strategist. That's what I do. But if you come over here quick tripping and, oh, it's good, and, oh, you're going to win, and you got all this energy, you're probably conning me, you're being conned, and everybody's being a con. So I just believe that you can get away from being scammed and you can get away from choosing the wrong mentors or the wrong people to listen to because you are balanced in yourself. It really is you. You do attract everything you are to you. So if you're mad at your spouse, it's you. I promise you. Sometimes.
Amen.
Sometimes. Sometimes they can do a little Listen, that didn't have nothing to do with you. But for the most part, you attracted that mate. Trust me, you did.
Absolutely. You know what? I think you must be reading my card list because marriage is exactly what my next topic was. Crazy. So a lot of us marry well and a lot of us marry rich. There is a distinction between the two in my universe. And I do think that women should marry rich and men should marry well. But there's a flaw in today's culture.
Okay.
Men take a lot of heat for wanting to marry rich, right? Because we should be the head of the household and this guy's a F boy and some of these other different possibilities. Now, if there's no wrong way, if there's no such thing as a scheme, how do we get into that?
Ooh, you tiptoeing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
While plowing down, boy. You are good. You are good. Let me
Let's
tell you
do
guys
it.
something.
Mm-hmm.
The way that, I'm talking to your audience, not you.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The way that Brian reveals, because when you deal in revelation power, you're not trying to make a point. You are extracting. He's an extraction expert.
I am.
Just please know he's an extraction expert.
I am.
I picked that up. I'm prophetic, so I can see the unseen. But anyway, let's move. All right. So yes, men should marry well, and women should marry wealthy. Now, remember, wealth has a lot to do with your heart, your soul, and your mentality. The accumulation of the physical manifestation of it all is great, but wealth really is an engine inside of you that magnetically pulls money, finance, economics, power, people, blah, blah, blah. Wealth really is an engine. And that's why I love the whole machine situation, the wealth machine, because it really is a machine. Now, when it comes to you choosing a spouse or choosing someone who's well, that means that you're really processing your well-being. And there's nothing wrong with you having a desire and getting the desires of your heart. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting what you want out of life. And so you don't want to be in struggle culture and in a relationship. The relationship is already a test of time. The relationship with you is already a test of time. Less than only a whole nother universe you're bringing into your universe. So when you're colliding universes, you definitely don't want struggle to be the epitome of the relationship. Most relationships, they say, get split up because of finances or what we call, I call it philanthropy, but some people call it extramarital affairs.
Oh, well, yeah. That's a good word for it.
A lot of times unfaithfulness is also a habit. You know, you've picked up unfaithfulness from dropping out of school or not finishing the test or cheating from other people's tests. You think, oh, I'm cheating on my spouse. No, you used to cheat in school. Stop it. You know, it's a lot of things that you start to pull that machine and that engine starts working on your behalf. So you can say, oh God, I'm unfaithful to my wife. I can't stop looking at these other women, or I'm unfaithful to my husband. He just sounds so good and he treats me better and all this other stuff. You think that's what's happening, but really it was that time that you decided to get an abortion or you decided to do this other thing. It was that time that you quit before that has you cheating now. So I want to say that because when we start talking about picking and choosing a mate, and the woman and the man do choose each other. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord is cool, but she definitely has to choose him back. And I believe sometimes women don't choose. I think sometimes women allow. So personal testimony for me, if I may be a little bit more transparent just to help somebody.
Sure.
I have been proposed to over 8 times. There has been not one relationship that I've ever been in that I was committed to and met the families, kissy missy and all that fun stuff, that he didn't see me as his wife. So check mark, Dr. O's a wife. Cool. The problem is I allow these men to choose me and I never choose them back. And I wonder why the relationship, it falters at some point. Because I don't choose my husband because I was taught that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So just be a good thing and you'll be found.
Wow.
So that actually is a very bad score. Because if I was quality and I saw quality in myself, the first one who proposed to me that was my husband, I'd still be married. Why have I had 8 suitors? So now I'm the woman in the Bible at the well when Jesus said, go back and give me your husband. And he says, where's your husband? She says, I don't have one. He said, that's the truth. You finally spoke the truth about yourself. None of these men are your husband. You've never even chosen. You've never even done anything. You've allowed all these men to come into your life, 6 husbands, and the man you live with now ain't even your husband. So you don't even have no husbands, and you've been married doggone all these times. So you're bragging about getting 8 rings, but what's up with you that you're not settled within yourself? Where's your harmony? And so I said that to say that a lot of times women don't choose. We allow some man to love on us or want us because we're taught that it's better for a man to be more in love with you than you are him. We're taught sit and look pretty. We're taught keep your legs closed. We're taught it's not good for you to be out here dating all these random men. That's slutty. We're taught so many crazy things, but we're seeing something else. We're watching our brothers come in at $3.99 in the morning and ain't nobody cussing them out. But we get in at 9 and we get cussed out and called sluts.
Wow.
We have 8 boyfriends because we're trying to choose which one we want to be our husband, but we're called, derogatory names. But a man has a whole box of panties and he's being, he's getting accolades. So we're a little off kilter when it comes to our choosing because we don't even know how to choose properly. In some cases, not everybody. There are plenty of relationships that I've seen extremely successful, years and years of good stuff. Trouble, yes. Challenge, yes. But they're still successful in their relationship because they chose well. So check mark on that, Brian. Secondly, when it comes to wealthy, your wife may be in college. She may be, a B student, and she may be Michelle Obama. Okay. But that's going to take some time for her to get to Michelle Obama level, right? That dude may be at a bus stop today, but he may own the whole bus company in 5 years. So sometimes you really do have to make connections. I think that people try to make attachments, and attachments can only last for so long. And it's very difficult to stay attached to anything, right? Without trying to make a connection or finding out the negative side of it. So I said all that to state that yes, a man should be able to look for a wealthy woman, just like a woman should be able to look for a wealthy man. But that shouldn't be your basis points of why you guys get together. And vice versa. A man should marry well and a woman should marry well, but that shouldn't be the reason. I believe that should be an aspect ratio of the reasoning, right? And then when you start to combine, like I said, it's both and, right? It's not either or. Stop warring with yourself. You want somebody who has not just potential, but actual. So I want to see my husband be able to keep, if you have a job, I don't knock people with jobs. If you have a job, I want to see that you still are investing in getting assets. I want to see that you still understand that you have the power to be wealthy with the job. I'm not going to be with somebody who has a job and doesn't see themselves as wealthy. It's just not going to happen for me. So I love the way that you put that together. But yeah, men should be able to freely say, you know what, I want a woman who has her ish together and she has her money. And I want to have a woman like that and be okay with that and not worry about what other people say. They're not in your relationship and they could care less about your relationship. All they want is the dirt and the tea, right? So
there you go.
Yeah. So serve them the pot. Give them the whole pot. Just throw it at them.
Absolutely. And okay, so and closing us out with our last question tonight. As a community, we both have a lot of love for this community, and which is why we are having this topic in order to sort of free our minds from some of the chains that has really kept us from not really catapulting from really post-slavery Reconstruction era. We were really, really doing our thing then, and to me, it feels like more of a regression. Right. So much so that we are a $2 trillion spending community, but our projection by the year 2053 net worth as a community is 0, right? According to blackenterprise.com. Can we turn this around? And if so, how?
Our history did not start in America. Number one, Black history did not start in America. While the chains are still there, that's not where it started. Have to know that. And no Black, white being, no human, no angel, no devil, no entity is going to be able to guide you through your Blackness. You are going to have to get and obtain and maintain your own Black consciousness. Because if you get it from Brian or you get it from Dr. O, it could falter. So I just challenge everybody to learn your history for yourself. And it didn't start in America, so don't start there. Now, to bring us to speed of where we are today, which is the most prominent opportunity that I believe is existing in time, is that whenever post-Reconstruction happened, one thing that they figured out was we are better off on our own to do our own thing. This is a good thing because that's how we were able to conquer the planet. We are global beings. So why couldn't we run a country or a nation or a county or a state or a city? They knew that. No one told them that. I don't care how many prayers they prayed. They prayed while they were being hung, right? They were praying while they were being burnt. So, prayer wasn't the only thing that got them through. It was the action knowing that, you know what, we got this. And so I believe that we got this went away. I don't believe that slavery took our ability to work together away. I believe that slavery assisted in taking away our ability to think together. Not think alike. Because I don't want to think like Brian. I love his brain. And I don't want to manipulate him or control him or get mad when he don't call me back. You know what I mean? I want him to be free, free, free. I need him to be Brian. So I don't want to think like him. I want to think with him. That's gone. But that was what was happening in post-slavery. Now, to speed up to where we are today, talking about our wealth being zero, a part of that is a marketing narrative to control us. The other side of that is, okay, I'm not going to go war. I'm going to say it this way. The other side of that is, if that's the case, where is our $1 trillion spending right now gonna be too, right? So it can't be two things operating in one, right? You can't be a beautiful woman with an Adam's apple. And that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like talking about our wealth being zero in 2050 is an Adam's apple on a female. And I say that because also by 2050, the United States of America is going to be 90% people of color. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So one part of the news, when you Google, students, pretty much all your children in schools are going to be children of color. And now all of a sudden wealth is zero. Interesting. That's pretty cool, right? That's a trick, right? And the magician is not there to perform magic. The magician is there to perform an illusion. His assistant is doing the magic. Believe that. She's the one doing all the magic.
Absolutely.
So right now, that narrative of the zero means is a threat. And so how we handle threats is not to come and you pick my nose, I'm going to pick your nose. The thing is to see that you are a threat and work around that. And the workaround is economics, financial literacy, investing, asset management, combining resources, talking about money until people get tired of it. You should be literally tired of being rich. There are days when my account is printing money and I literally get tired of making money. I'm tired. So I push the button and be like, I'm done. When I'm in a good trade, I'm in a good options trade, it just starts ATM. Y'all think y'all making it rain at the club? This thing is just, and I'm just like, I'm done. Okay, that's enough. Can you believe that? Somebody who used to, I told y'all, take bathrooms in restrooms, take baths, in restrooms. So I'm saying that to state that we talked about, the opportunity to own your own bank and be your own bank. So before I got an opportunity to own a physical, the opportunity came through my sister Benicia Poole Watson, because she got an opportunity to become a federally chartered bank and then gave that opportunity to other people to have their own federally chartered bank through her brand, Prime One Home Loans. And so even though it's a federally chartered bank that doesn't do depository, Dr. O is on the other side of where I want to be able to receive money. And so I started creating, hedge funds and VCs and all this other stuff. And so connecting with her giving us an opportunity on the mortgage side, now we can open up the gateway for the depository side, which is very critical. the way we can start to garner our wealth is to put our resources together, just like they did post-slavery, just like they did before slavery. They literally used to have a community fund where all the money got distributed evenly. Right now, each person in America, you can go to the usdebt.com. Each one of us are worth like $106,000, maybe anywhere between 50 to six figures, 50,000 to six figures. Each person is worth that much. And you can learn that on that website. But I said that to say, we are going to have to truly, every penny needs to be accounted for and for our community. And we cannot keep our wealth in America. That's my strategy. If you want to know where I'm headed, it will be global. Until we start to have that global impact and we start to be planetary beings like we are, that's why we can withhold the sun. And this planet has a sun for us. Until we understand that, we're not going to be able to really do what we're supposed to do. So I believe that groups of us are going to be able to help change that narrative of that zero wealth mean. But I do believe that people are going to have to start being a little bit more aggressive financially, and they're going to have to start being more economically sound. They're going to have to start running their house like it's a country. They're going to have to start being at their job like they own it. They're going to have to start running their company like it's a bank. They're going to have to start treating everything like a bank, everything. And you are a walking bank. Last statement. In slavery, when the slave couldn't work anymore or the slave died, Massa still wanted his money. Massa still wanted that bread. What Massa said was, hey, banker, you bought me this slave, because they used to get the slave was a security, and they would use the bank to buy the slave, and they would pay the bank back through the work of the slave. They said, hey, banker, can y'all create a program to where when my slave dies, I get some money still for the money that I'm losing because my slave isn't working anymore? So life insurance was created. Yay! All of it is created off of our energy. And so besides me saying, go get life insurance, go get crypto, get NFTs, let me tell you something. You already are a part of that progress and process. And without your life, this economy wouldn't even exist. So I would just say, start using that same energy for yourself. Your slave master thought you were so valuable that when you died, he still wanted money from your body that was not here. And he started giving it to his children and his family and his economy. So I just say the same thing that they did, do it for yourself.
Wow. That is very powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So first, let me say, everyone, please make sure you share the live. Let everybody know about this particular topic tonight, the wealth machine. It has truly been a machine with this conversation. So, Dr. O, thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the Brian Reveal Show. Question, as we are closing out tonight, tell everybody what's next for you. Tell everybody about where they can go and find out more about Prime One, about what you're working on, and about where can they take advantage of some of these services? Because if they live in Connecticut or Kentucky, can they take advantage of your services, and how can they be a part of the franchising opportunity?
Yes. So I would definitely have everybody go to primeonehomeloans.com, because, we say stuff like, okay. So that's how you can get connected to that side. If you're interested in opening up your own franchise, there's information on how to do that. There's 800 number, there's emails. That's the way you get connected to that opportunity. If you're not ready to open up your own branch, I would still say plug in, because you just don't know. And maybe it's not you, it may be your cousin. So just do it. The other side of that, to connect with me on what I'm doing for all of 2023, God speaks to me in decades, so I already have my whole life mapped out. But in 2023 specifically, I will be speaking about the topic of infinite banking and the process, not just through life insurance, because there's many ways to do infinite banking. And so starting March 23rd, 2023, every 23rd day of 2023, Dr. O will be speaking about infinite banking. And so if you want to find out more information about that, besides, I'll put it in the comments as well. You can go to First Generation Millionaires, It's a group on Facebook. We've got like a silver, gold coloring because I think there are others. But First Generation Millionaires, not only do we give a lot of free content, Benicia and I just did an event, and she was speaking about her journey on how she even got the opportunity to become a federally chartered bank to give all of us an opportunity to open up our own branch. She's also going to be posting and doing stuff in that group as well. And I'll be posting on her behalf as well. So if you want to get connected to prime1homeloans.com, the other side is to learn about infinite banking. You can go to First Generation Millionaires right here on Facebook.
Okay. Okay. Thank you again for being part of tonight's show, Dr. O. Everyone, I do want to say that this has been a really, really incredible journey tonight and through my first season. So again, I want to say, please be on the lookout for something really, really big that will be coming very, very soon. And when I say soon, around the corner. So again, thank you so much. I wish I could say it. I wish I could. I'm being such a cornball, but this Tonight Show was, I guess, sort of a teaser and what's to come. You saw the reel, and you will be seeing some other things that will kind of go with the reel, right? Look forward to come. Thank you so much, everybody. Good night.